Welcome everyone to another session on Current Affairs by Civils 360 IS Academy. In this session, we will be discussing about INS Mahe. INS Mahe is one of the latest additions to the to the Navy. It is actually an anti-submarine warfare shallow watercraft. So we will discuss what actually it is, and we will discuss about what class it belongs to, who actually built it, what are its capabilities, okay, what is its significance, right? So let's go deeper into the topic. Okay, so this was actually the news, and remember to talk about INS Mahe, you need to have a brief idea about our coastal security. Okay, until now, the coastal security or near sea security of India was actually guarded by, the Coast Guard and all those things, but according to the or as per the vessels or as per ships, if you look at that, they were actually safeguarded by the Abhay-class. Okay, Abhay-class corvettes, right? So the Abhay-class corvettes were used to protect our coastal areas. They were the predominant vessels that were used. But the Abhay-class, they were actually, taken from the Russia, and they had to be decommissioned in the 2017. So we need a new set of, vessels. But therefore, the vessels to guard the coastal areas, there is an important requirement, and that important requirement is that they need to have low drought, right? So I will just mention the concept of a drought. Okay, so basically the idea is, so if you have a ship, right? Okay, you have the ship, right? And this length, okay, this is the water level, and this is the displacement caused by the weight of the ship into the water. So this is the lowest point of the ship, right, of the hull, which is known as the keel. Okay, it's also called the keel, right? So the distance between the keel and the water line is known as the drought. So only for vessels that has very low drought, that is those ships that do not displace too much, or they do not displace or go down into the water too much, can actually reach the coast, right, because of the continental shelf, right? So please understand, only those kind of vessels can be there. So these kind of vessels are very specialized vessels. They are not like large aircraft carriers displacing like 40,000 tons, right? They have very low displacement, and they have very low drought. Okay, this value is known as the drought. Okay, so it should not sink, or it should not sit further into the water. So this is the basic idea of vessels that are required to guard our coastal areas. Okay, so please keep that in mind. Okay, so this is basically INS Mahe, and if you look at that, their crest, okay, their symbol, you can see that it is actually the flexible sword of Kalaripayattu. Kalaripayattu is a ancient martial arts that is practiced in Kerala, and this is the symbol, right? This is actually the flexible sword the fighters actually use, and that is their crest. So remember the crest. Remember also their mascot is actually cheetah, right? Their mascot is cheetah, and their motto is silent killers. Okay, so basically these are some of the facts you need to know. Their motto is silent killers. Their mascot is a cheetah. Their crest is a flexible sword. Okay, it's called Urumi, right? Urumi. Okay, Urumi of it's actually used by the fighters in Kalaripayattu, right? Okay, so going further into INS Mahe, it is the first of its class, right? So basically after 27, after the Abhay-class corvettes were actually decommissioned, the Defense Acquisition Council actually said that, okay, we need another set of vessels that has that can actually guard the coastal areas with a low drought. So after that decision was made, 16 vessels were actually sanctioned. 16 vessels. Okay, among them, like 8 are going to be built by Cochin Shipyard Ltd, and another 8 will be built by Garden Reach GRSL company. So we look into those things. So these 8, so like I said, 16 in total. 8 vessels are of Mahe-class. Another 8 is it's called Arnala-class. So remember Arnala. Right, Arnala. So these are the different classes of vessels that are going to be used, and the name or the class or the type of the vessel that we are describing here is called anti-submarine warfare shallow watercraft. Right. So please understand, the word itself has everything that you need to know. They are primarily used to tackle submarines that actually can go silently very close to the coast, right? Especially with China's dominance, India has a very long coastline, and there is every risk of China sending its submarine close to our shores, right? And we do not have ships to actually reach the shore, ships with good capabilities to reach the shore and guard our coastal areas. That is why these kind of vessels are actually preferred. Anti-submarine warfare shallow watercraft. So please remember, because it's a kind of like a new term for us. Okay. So its aim is near sea dominance. And the lead vessel is INS Mahe, and these are its important crust. Its crust is called Urumi. Okay, its mascot is cheetah. Okay, its motto is silent hunters. Right, and the certification is as per Det Norske Veritas. Okay, this is also important because they can simply ask, UPSC can simply ask, Det Norske Veritas is related to which of the following? Okay, it's actually a private company. Okay, first important point, it's a private company. Okay, second important point is headquartered is in Norway. It is based in Norway, and what it does is that it actually certifies or it gives accreditations to ship standards, right? So it says that a particular ship, this is the type of ship, it needs to have these other class, or these are the specifications of that ship. Okay, and most of the navies or maritime vessels across the world follow the accreditations, follow the specifications as per Det Norske Veritas. Okay, please keep those kind of concepts in mind, right? Okay. So before that, I told you Abhay-class corvettes were used. But INS Mahe has very low draught. That is the distance between waterline and the lowest point of the keel. This is what I explained in the beginning, right? It has low draught. Only vessels with a low draught can actually reach the coastal area. There is another 8th set of vessel, that is the Arnala-class, which is built by Garden Reach Shipbuilders and engineers. Okay, that is also keep in mind. Okay, so basically they are trying to counter these silent diesel electric submarines. Okay, and they are propelled by a diesel electric Waterjet engine. Okay, and these are the other vessels in that class. So Mahe-class, 8 vessels are there. You have Malwell, Mangrol, Malpi, Mulki, Magdala and Machilipatnam. Arnala-class you have Anjadeep, Amini, Abhay, Agrai, Ajay and Akshay. So these are the name of the vessels also. Just be familiar with it. But if you have like Mahe, you can actually say, okay, there's going to be some sort of resemblance with Mahe, right? Because INS Mahe is the lead vessel. So all the other vessels in this class will follow that kind of syllable. Okay, so these are questions for you to try. INS Mahe is the first vessel of the Mahe-class anti-submarine warfare shallow watercraft built by Cochin Shipyard Ltd. Expressly what we just learned, right? Explicitly, right? So it's true. The ship has a displacement of around 1,100 tons and a draught under 3 meters, making it suitable for shallow water operations, right? So it is suitable for shallow water operations. That bit you know. If you know that this is actually aiming to guard near sea or the coastal borders, you need to know that, or you will understand that it is for shallow water operations. That is clear. Now for the displacement bit. If you know the larger aircrafts like INS Vikrant and all have large displacement of like 40,000, 45,000 tons, right? You can take an educated guess that this could be right. A draught under 3 meters also seems very, very probable, right? because it needs to reach the coastal areas, very close to the coastal area, right, to guard the coast from the submarines, right. Its crest depicts a trident rising from the waves, symbolizing maritime power and coastal defense. Here, trident. If you have studied INS Mahe just a bit, you might think this is correct, right? Because you have a trident, it's related to Poseidon, sea. Okay, you might link like that. That is why read carefully. Remember, the crest is actually the flexible sword of Kalaripayattu Urumi. That is why I even gave you the picture. So this statement is wrong. Okay, so you will reach only 2. Okay, so I hope you can understand all these things. You can understand the concept of drought. You remember who actually built it. You need to know what is its purpose. You need to know about who was protecting it before. Then you need to know about the different classes. What is the other class? Okay, and who built it and all those things. So please study thoroughly. That's all in this session on current affairs. Thank you.